stop using the feedback sandwich. You know, if you have to address something negative, you start with something positive, then you set out the negative, and you close out with something positive again. It's a classic technique, but it just doesn't work. And that's what we're going to talk about here today on the Leadership Jetway. You see, in theory, the positive, negative, positive feedback sandwich is a good idea. The point being, while you're letting someone know there's an issue, you also make sure that they know that you value them and their input to the team. But the trouble is, it's just a recipe for mixed messages. I love the energy you bring to meetings, but you sometimes ride roughshod over other people's ideas. I do know how much you care, though. You can almost see the person thinking, do you like me or am I in trouble? If the point of the conversation is to give constructive criticism, you have to focus on that. Don't be a jerk, just make sure that the message is heard and understood. So instead of the feedback sandwich, I think you should do this. And there are 4 steps. Number 1, set the tone clearly from the start. Number 2, be specific and clear what the problem is and the impact on the team. Number 3, give them an opportunity to explain and do some listening. And then number 4, make sure you make your expectations clear, offering support if it's appropriate to do so. So, for example, let's say Mike has been late a lot recently. How should the conversation go? Well, for me, it would go like this. Mike, I need to talk to you about something. You've been late 4 times in the last 2 weeks, and this just isn't on. Jess has to cover for you until you arrive. That means she's late leaving and she gets stuck in traffic to get to her second job. So what's going on here? See, there's the first 3 steps, right? You set the tone, you're clear on the issue and the impact, and you give Mike an opportunity to explain. Then you listen. And what you do in the 4th step, making clear your expectations, depends on what Mike says. So either he'll give you a poor excuse. He might say something like, oh man, well, my alarm just isn't waking me up and I'm struggling to get out the door in the morning. In which case, you just clarify your expectations, right? You say, well, I'm sorry, but I can't just let this slide from now on. I need you here on time for your shift, or we're going to get into formal warning territory. Just be firm and clear on what you expect and on what the consequences will be. Or Mike will give you a reason you can understand and you decide you want to help, like, oh man, I'm sorry, but you see, well, my wife really isn't very well at the moment, and some days she just can't get out of bed, and so I have to be the one to get the kids to school. And in this case, you might say something like, okay, if that happens, no problem. You call me at 8:15 and you let me know. I'll make sure Jess gets away. I'll cover things until you arrive. And then you get into the long term, this isn't going to work. You ask how long it might be going on for. You start thinking about maybe changing the rotor around to support Mike in his situation. But you see, the classic feedback sandwich would have been useless here. If all you'd done is go positive, negative, positive, you'd probably never have known if Mike was just a bit lazy and disorganized or had a really complicated issue going on. So if you have to address something, don't use the sandwich, okay? Instead, set the tone, be clear about the issue, listen, and then clarify what needs to happen next. That's how you do it. And if you want to catch issues before they become issues, every time you're talking with one of your team, you should try using my 4-question framework for a perfect one-to-one conversation. You can get it at leadershipjetway.com/perfect1-to-1. There's a link in the description. It's a 1-page PDF. It's 4 questions. It's really easy to remember and use. And it's my gift to you because I'm all about helping new managers make a flying start on their leadership journey. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time here on the Leadership Jetway. Take care.